Right. Welcome into 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10 Digital Dealer live recap. Actually, never been done. It's part of it. Don't worry. You're cool. We're having an editing issue. We're live. It's happening. We have a new camera here.
Oh, wait,
cool.
we're live?
We're live right now.
Oh,
right,
okay.
we're live.
All right, I didn't realize
It's not
we
going to
were
go
live.
up live. We are live talking about it.
Okay.
So, everyone knows that I'm not a huge fan of these, but everyone over here on my right is convincing me of why I should be. So, let's start with the incredible Lori Halter. This is now her 6th or 5th time on the show, making her number 1 or number 2.
No, wait, not number 2, number 1
It's
only.
1A or 1B. 1A or 1B. Because
All right,
I
number
don't,
one
I
only.
don't technically know if the guy sitting next to you if it's 1B.
Trey,
You guys
are we
have done
gonna
a lot.
have to fight?
Trey,
We might have to.
training with
We
Trey is a
might
whole
have
bit.
to.
People like
Do like
training
a
with Trey.
bone
All right, oh my gosh.
People like
I may
training
have
with
to fight
Trey.
you on this.
So, Lori, favorite moment of the show?
I'm going to say what I say every time, so you're probably so tired of it. Actually, 2 things. One is the personal connections. I really, really love everyone I'm sitting here with. I love everyone that I meet on the showroom floor. I love meeting Sean. And that actually leads me to my second, which is meeting the infamous Sean Welsh, who has crawled out from the cave that he stays in every moment of every day. No, but truly, we talked before the podcast, and I was like, I'm going to say meeting you, and he's like, don't do that. But no, meeting
It's not a
you.
paid endorsement. I did not
It
ask
is
her to
not.
say that. It's not part of what we did.
But
It's all on the fly.
I think you and I talk a lot about this. I think it's just the personal connections that are really special. And so I think meeting Sean has
Lori
honestly been a
loves the
highlight.
personal connection.
I
and
do.
She sells it to me on the highest of levels. I'm trying to.
I don't know if he's buying it.
I am.
but I'm
There's a
trying to
lot of
sell
people
it.
selling it right now, Lori. For God's sakes, there's a lot of people selling. All right, let's move on. Trey Hudson, this is, I believe, your first official
This is
digital
my,
dealer.
Yeah, this is my
Yeah, baby.
first time.
First time, not first time on the show, but
No.
first time at the show. First time we're doing a live recording.
That
we've
is true,
we've
too.
had you guys on the show before.
Yeah.
Trey, first timer, favorite part.
First off, this is stepping outside of a lot of comfort zones right now.
I know,
Like one, it's
I
just
know
like
you're all
being
cool on the walk
recorded.
over here, dude. You're all like,
this
yeah,
is
no
like-
problem. Put me on, no big deal. And now you're telling me you got to give yourself a pep talk.
Like every time before a camera comes on, I gotta give myself a pep talk. You know, I'm like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. No, I think that I think the cool experience about this is getting to meet talented individuals.
So
like
again, on the Lori train.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at
it's,
that.
let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Because the
And
one
I
thing
know
that-
what she. This is all.
You
set
don't
up.
know
This is
shit.
I know.
You
This is
know,
all.
I was
This is
gonna
all
say
set
the
up.
exact same thing.
This is all a beep.
Well, the one thing that I get that I get to add to it is for the individuals that are in this room, it's the first time I've gotten to meet all of you in person.
Yes.
So it's the first time I got to meet April, Lori,
Yes.
Sean, and then of course behind the cameraman over there, Jeff. So it's cool to meet everybody in person. Not only that, but to see everybody's like, you know, sometimes you meet people and then you're like, oh, they don't live up to the expectations when you meet them in
Yes.
person.
Yes.
Well, this is over expectations just from the moment, you know, we greeted each other. So everyone here is these are top-notch humans, and I'm just excited to be here. So
Oh my God.
that's what I've gotten out of
His
this so
answer
far.
was so much better than mine.
Well, it was on the same
I mean, I'm not gonna
line.
lie.
It was on the same line.
on the same.
I don't want to say it was better. I say it
I
was
mean,
different.
let's not say it was better, but let's say it's better.
So then it brings us to the belle of the ball, the most important young woman at Digital Dealer, putting on the biggest sessions there is.
Absolutely.
So April, since I don't know shit, why don't you fill us in on your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show is actually all the puzzle pieces that have a tendency to finally come together. I think there's a lot of times when we're in our store, you think, hey, am I on the right path? There's this puzzle piece over here and there's this puzzle piece over here and I'm trying to fit them together, they don't fit. But then I find this one over here and then it finally fits with my other puzzle pieces. And you actually go back saying, wait a minute, I now have this great picture that I didn't have before I came. And that's kind of a value of coming here, on top of the fact that you're validated in the path that you have been going down. Am I going down, is what I'm doing matter? Does what are these decisions that I'm making actually impacting things? And that for me, I think, is the most impactful. And it takes all the people. Like everything you all have just said is 100% dead on, because without that, we can't put these puzzle pieces together. But the people who are willing to come together and actually help make sure that the pieces fit, that's the collaboration. That there's so much out there where people are unwilling to collaborate right now, and that is my biggest pain point. But coming here and finding the humans that say, wait a minute, I know how to make these puzzle pieces fit, that's what takes it home for me.
I love it. And it's around the same vein, right? People and coming together. And honestly, as I sit here and I think about my own answer to the question, it would come back to meeting Trey Hudson, meeting Lori Halter, hanging out with April, being here with clients. So it inevitably, as these events do, it's about humans and the people at which we do it for. But like I've said before, I need to do a better job of meeting humans where they live, what they do, because there's something cool I could do there, so I'm going to be cooped up in a fucking casino. Anyways, all right, so here's the thing. Let's do this. Okay, I like to talk about what we like, okay? But any of you willing to give feedback on potentially what you don't like? Or what you change if you were to be asked for those opinions, what would it be? Does anyone want to start, or is that my start? Because I'll start to get you.
Go ahead.
You
All
start.
right.
Let's
What I
hear
do
it.
not like, and I said this last year during our recap, and I've said
Yes.
this every year since I've been thinking about it. There needs to be less to do in a given hour when it comes to sessions.
Yes.
I just
Agree.
think
I
we are
agree.
offering too many things at one time that nobody can really get a good value. And that what that means is, unfortunately, you got some people that just maybe, if it's about timing, that don't need to speak or have spoken enough times, people have heard the message. So get out to the new variety, the young generation of what's coming up here, and start saying every hour 3. Maybe 4. But this 5, 6 rooms plus a main room, like, it's absurd. So do better, you can. Anybody else? Or are you gonna make me the bad guy?
No,
I don't think
I
you're a
would
bad guy.
actually.
I actually would second that. I think
Correct.
it's
That's
very
what I was gonna say.
validating. I think that when you come, I always tout the digital dealer has taught me so much. So years and years I've been coming, but it is overwhelming to have to try to pick and choose. And so we definitely need to do a better job of honing in tracks, honing in what the dealer is actually coming here to solve, what education they actually need and want, and at what level. Is this easy? Is this intermediate? Is this advanced? So that we actually leave here saying, that was, the ROI on that was so good, I would never not come again.
Agreed. And when you have smaller sessions in rooms of people that are more like, I walked into a room this morning about social media, it was packed.
Right.
It was packed, right? Well, that's because there was only like 2 other things going on at 10:30, whatever the time was. And you
Yeah.
realize that people are thirsty for knowledge, but then they're forced to choose, or they're getting up halfway. And from a presenter standpoint, nothing kind of hits the presenter ego a little harder than somebody getting up halfway and taking off. Whether that's because they feel stressed that they can't go to another session, doesn't matter. While I stand there and I look out, people are getting up and leaving. The sex doesn't matter the reason. So that part is difficult. Trey, as a newcomer, anything stand out to you that like, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can agree with you. I mean, there was 2. I mean, there's so much package in there's just limited time, right? So it's just like I was like, which do I pick? You know, and but then I pick it and I sit through it and I was like, but I missed the other one. And I was like, I wish I could know what was going on that one. And then I think the second thing that I would just add would be, I think it's nice to have some kind of interaction. Like I know the session that we participated in, it was really nice because people were able to sit, ask questions, and like find out some real answers to how things could help them as dealers and interact with vendors. So I think maybe a Q&A, but just somehow that we can interact more with the presenters. I think that's
Trey,
huge because if we're
that's a home run, and that's what we believed. I think we started
Core of my session idea,
in
right?
Tampa. I think that was the whole point of the iteration. April and I went back and forth. How's it going to look?
Right.
This is what it's going to look like. It's an amalgamation of other things she's seen and liked in the past, right? She puts together this beautiful idea. But on the flip side of it, we did what I call dealer math today, right? Instead of doubling down, putting it in the room we're in today, right?
Right.
Being more efficient about how we have people involved. Maybe it doesn't have to be 3 times the size of the last one. Right? Dealer math. Want to sell 200 cars, instead of making 10 guys sell 20, you think you can hire 20 to sell 10. We end up with not the same thing. So to me, I just wish that we would take those feedback of those moments that we know we're dominant, we know we're really well, and double down, because you're a dealer, Trey. So April, you're a dealer. So when you guys say, this is what's important, what I say shouldn't matter as much, what Lori says shouldn't
Correct.
matter as much, this should be all that really matters to the opinion.
I agree, but I gotta cut you off there, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Please.
Because digital dealer is still a business, and I think that at the end of the day, this is where some of these.
That's a fair
Where
point.
some
That's
of
why you
these-
have so many things going on in 1 hour, because you have to be able to pay for it.
And
I get you.
that is, and so we have to be cognizant of that. It's not a matter of yes or no. It's a matter of, again, taking the puzzle pieces and saying, wait, I need to understand that the vendors pay for this.
Yeah.
That the vendors are the ones that make this happen.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure that the vendors get out what they need, but also understand that the vendors will never get what they need if the dealers aren't here?
Right.
The dealers have to be here, and the dealers have to be participating. So how do we make sure that those two things happen? Because that's all that really needs to
Correct.
happen.
Correct.
The rest will solve itself if we just make sure that we are putting the right people in the right place together in a way that makes the value proposition for both the vendor and the dealer
The
equal
same.
parts.
Yep.
I mean, what a way to wrap that up.
I know.
Looking at
That's
both
exactly
sides
right.
like that,
That's exactly
Here
right.
I am, like, ready to put my hand down, like, no, this is Bia, and then April's like, well, you're not considering all sides, and she's totally right. And I agree, it's a business, and
Yeah.
that does get lost of, because, people are here to do business, while someone else is also doing business. So, all right, let's wrap it up. Everyone's been really gracious with their time. One reason someone needs to come to the next digital dealer.
Okay, I'm
Lori,
going to take it from a female perspective.
Who I love.
So, digital dealers had a lot of, they're starting to introduce, as April knows, and has actually been the impetus for a lot of introduction to the industry for female leaders. And so they had a luncheon, there was a Zoom call. And so I think the one reason I would say for people to come digital dealer, if you're a female in the space and you feel like you need to find your tribe, they're doing a lot to help you find your tribe. And I personally, that's my jam.
I know.
So
it's
I
beyond your
love, it's beyond my jam.
It
and
defines
so,
your jam.
Yes. So I love what they're doing for women. If you're a female in automotive who's feeling a bit adrift, I think digital dealer will help you with that.
Beautiful. Trey Hudson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's two for me. I think one is obviously the networking aspect of it. I think it's important just to be able to do that, to bounce ideas off others. And I think the second is you learn.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mentioned earlier about having the multiple sessions, but in the same time, I mean, I guess there's a space for everyone and there's a topic for everybody to sit down and listen to. But, I'm coming out of this, being enriched with more knowledge than when I came in. I think ultimately that is the purpose of these get-togethers. So yeah, I'm ready to take some of this stuff with me back to the store.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
See how I can implement it.
That's awesome.
Implement.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Right?
April Simmons.
Yeah.
Why the next one?
I've always been a fan of digital dealer because early on in my career, it was all I had. It was the only way I could learn. It was the only space I could actually go to. I mean, honestly, I started coming to digital dealer before YouTube was really a thing. So I think that is something that is empowering to actually have those takeaways, right? I feel better about what I'm doing. I'm validated in the direction I'm going, or I know that maybe what I'm doing isn't right, so I'm going to pivot and go a different direction. But as this has gone into different years for me, so this is I don't even know how many digital dealers I've been to, but I go to a Lori Halter, who genuinely, my whole life and my whole digital dealer.
This is my
has
hype girl,
changed.
by the way.
This
is my
Jen,
hype
I don't know how you're getting all these paid spots right now. It's kind of wacky, especially on my show. I don't know how you shit
April
very often, but
always-
here we are. Here we are.
But I think anyone who knows me, that Sean and I have very similar personalities, which means I will never bullshit you. I will tell you the truth. So what I'm saying is absolutely true, right? So Lori has changed.
I mean,
She's
genuinely.
blushing. She's
Genuinely.
I actually am.
Genuinely changed.
Yeah.
And this whole women's thing with digital dealer, and this is why you need to come to digital dealer. They care enough to try. They make mistakes.
Correct.
They're stubbing their toe. These things happen, but there's 9 million conferences now, right? So you have 9 million choices of a conference to go to, but this is a conference who's been around for a long time that is actually trying to adapt.
Yep.
They're trying to change. They're trying to take in the things and understand what it means to evolve. And I will always appreciate someone who says, I'm trying, versus the guys who go, I'm the best.
Right.
I'm the best.
There's no need to
There's
change.
no need
There's
to
no
change.
need to change.
Right?
Right.
So I appreciate that. Last year, I called them 2 weeks from Digital Dealer and I said, hey, Lori has made my life better, along with some other females. I want to pay it forward. And they said, we're in with you. Let's make this happen. That's where this came from. This isn't a monetized thing. This is literally a paying it forward thing. And I have to appreciate a company who's a company, right? They
Yeah.
have to, their whole goal
They have a bottom
is,
line.
Who's willing to get behind it?
right.
I agree.
And so I have to appreciate anyone who is willing to say, I am willing to do the effort and the energy to make the industry better. And that is the people I'm sitting with. But it is also a company like Digital Dealer that says, I'm trying to be better. I'm not great, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I would say
Yes.
come for the education,
Yes.
stay for the people. You know, and make it about Trey said it, Lori said it, networking. You know, that's what it's about. And as I said to Lori earlier, that these just don't pencil for me as a business structure when I talk about dollars and cents. But if I look beyond dollars and cents and I look at
Yes.
connection of people, and had April not made me come out in April or in May to Tampa, and then, but in Tampa was born the idea of our conference being social, one of the 9 million now conferences that exist. That only happened because I was in Tampa. And I
Correct.
saw the idea based on what you had shown us. So it does come together. It is that kind of, butterfly effect throughout our industry
Right.
and how we do it. So, well, thank you all for joining the on-site live version, as I said, not live, but live together. Thank you guys so much. You all rock. I love having you on the
Thank you.
show.
That's
Thank you.
all.
Jeff Hunter, thank you for your production.
Ah,
Everyone
cheers.
else, thank you so much. That's it. We will see you next week on the show where, well, just tune in. You'll find out more. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.